Hello everyone, we'll start our third talk for today. زي ما كاش viewers. Hello everyone, with our third talk for today. It's gonna be about Salesforce, introduction to Salesforce AI with Salesforce. And our host today is gonna be Mr. Abdelghani Lahbib. Welcome with us, Mr. Abdelghani.
Welcome, Mrs. You didn't tell me your name.
Iman Hamzawi.
All right, welcome. Thank you for the intro. Yeah, so welcome everyone. And should I start now?
Yes, we can start now.
All right, so for the intro, so my name is Abdelghani Lahbib. I work at Algiers Services as a Salesforce consultant. So since 2 years now. What we're gonna see now is a quick look on SalesForce Einstein and how we can use AI in the business area. So I'm just gonna share my screen. All right. So first we're gonna talk, and so first we're gonna see what SalesForce is for those who don't know what is SalesForce. And secondly, we're gonna take a quick look on SalesForce Einstein, mainly discover what is Tableau CRM, and we will have like a brief talk about some other features of SalesForce Einstein. So first things first, what is Salesforce? To first understand what Salesforce is, we should first know what a CRM is, right? So a CRM refers to customer relationship management, means that it's a tool allowing you to manage your customers and prospects and track the data. So this data can be emails, files, phone calls, or whatever interaction you have with those customers. So to summarize, a CRM is a tool that has three main areas. So the first one is the marketing, that allows you to manage your marketing campaigns and generate new leads. And secondly, the sales area. So the sales, that it's a kind of application that allows you to manage your sales, like from converting those leads to opportunities, then signing deals or contracts with them. And lastly, you should be able, using a CRM, you should be able to provide customer service and keep your customers happy and listen to them and give them the help they need. All right, so what is Salesforce? Salesforce is mainly known as a CRM. So it's the first CRM in the world, as this is known about Salesforce. But actually, Salesforce is not just a CRM. Salesforce is what we call a platform as a service. So designed to help you build stellar experiences for your customers. So Salesforce includes the 360 customer, which is the main Salesforce application, and the first one, of course, that makes Salesforce known. And it has also some other services like Heroku and lately Slack. So briefly, this is Salesforce. All right, so about Salesforce Einstein. So Salesforce Einstein is a set of features and out-of-the-box applications or tools that makes your CRM smart. What we mean by smart, so you should be able to analyze your data and make like reduce your team's time and provide some help for your customers quickly and effectively. So like the main part of Salesforce Einstein, which is used for data analysis, is the Tableau CRM. So Tableau, like maybe some of you know what is Tableau. So it's a data exploration tool. Now it belongs to Salesforce and it's integrated directly as an application in Salesforce. So it has four main components. The first one, which is the data set, as its name says. So it's a component that's used to store data. So it's a component that's used to store data and like group this data and have them as one part. So this data can be either imported from Salesforce directly or maybe exported from external data services or other external systems, or it can just be imported from CSV file. So then this data will be used for future uses. So for the second component, it's what we call lenses. So lenses are queries on those data. Like imagine having a data with, don't know, with millions or thousands of records with 100 or 200 columns. So you can't really explore those data unless you make quick queries, like have some filters and reduce the number of files, maybe like, I don't know, maybe try to have something that like reduces the number of those records, so you can lately explore them. And yeah, I almost forgot. So there is another part here, like that comes between the data and the data set. So there's what we call the data flows. Those data flows are used mainly for the data preparation. So you can transform your data, combine two data sources and this kind of stuff, like have some quick calculations on those data, like for example, combining 2 or 3 columns in those data. So, and after creating a query on the data, so we can group those lenses into dashboards. So a dashboard is a pictorial representation of the data set. So it can group 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe more lenses. Like for example, you can have 2 lenses, like one representing, for example, the number of the opportunities that you have, and another one with a specific need, like the number of opportunities with a specific stage or within a specific stage or whatever. And lastly, we have the stories. The story is a case of study, or what we call a story. Why it's named the story? It's because like what is, like it answers the question like, what story are your data telling? Right. So we will use stories like to explore the data and get insights or maybe predict some outputs or inputs. And all these components can be grouped within one app. What we call app in the Tableau CRM is a big component that contains all those that can be shared later. So we will have a quick demo about Salesforce and Tableau CRM. Oh, 1 second. So this is the main window of Salesforce. Let's just refresh. So when you get to Salesforce, this is what you get. So Salesforce is a cloud-based platform. So to access to this, you just need the username and the password and then login. So what we have here is a list of objects. You can refer to objects as tables in relationship in a relational database model. So for example, an account is a table in the Salesforce data model. So an account represents like a company that is one of our customers. Like for example, we have all those companies that are our customers. Well, this is just a testing session, testing environment, and we have contacts. So a contact is a person that works for a company, right? So those companies should have contacts that we can directly contact to maybe cross some deals with those companies. and a lead. So a lead is a possible customer. So this lead later will be converted to an account and a contact and maybe an opportunity. And what's an opportunity is a possible deal. Like, for example, this contact shows an interest in our products. So this is what we call an opportunity. So this opportunity later will be even closed won or closed loss. Which means that even we sell this product to this customer, or he decides just not to take it. And here we have what we call also the app launcher. So what we were talking about in CRM. So this is the sales app, which is the one here, and this one is designed for the service, the customer service. So it should contain all the complaints and like the needs that, or the interactions with the customer about their issues and whatever. And this is our main part, which is Tableau CRM or Analytics Studio as its old name. So when we get to the Tableau CRM, so this is our main window. So here, like, we have our recently updated items and just jump back to our recent work. Or so when we go here to all items, like here we can see the apps available in this platform. So these are just like some test apps that are created that can be deleted, of course. And here, like, we have the components we were talking about. So dashboards, stories, lenses, and data sets. So we will just use a simple app for the exploration. So we can see this one here. So it's just a test app. So it has one data set, which is this one. So once we click on a data set, so yeah, so first let me just try to create a data set to show you how this works. So when we go to creating a data set, we can see here like the different cases of creating a data. So either imported from Salesforce or external systems or just a CSV file. So if we just click here, and let me just choose one. Yeah, so I have this one, for example. So this one will maybe like import some contacts. So this is like telling us how this data will be read, so it can be edited from here. And in what app should this data set be associated? And then we click next, and here is the preview of our data. So we can see here the different fields that are found in this data, and of course we can do some edits from here, like change the field type or the field name or whatever, and then we just upload it. So it may take a while. So now our data is imported, and we can see here that it has 100 rows, but this is not like the data we are going to use in this demo, so we just close it. And there is here, like here we can find in the data manager, we can find that those data flows that should be created, like if we create a data flow, so this data flow will be run once we import some data. All right, so we go back and go to the DTC sales app. So this is the sales app. So if we click on this data set, it will create a lens. So here we can query this data that we have in our database. So for example, so we can here first like choose the which charts we want to see, we want to explore the data. So let's say, for example, we do a donut. So we want to see, let's query, let's see our lost opportunities. So where the stage, so for example, here we can filter our data. So the stage is equal to closed lost. All right, so here, like, our data set is just filtered to show only the closed deals, the closed lost, I mean the deals that we didn't win. So let's try to segment. So for example, let's group those deals by industry. So we can see how our data is distributed within industries. So for example, we have 12 lost opportunities in the banking area. And of course, we can change to have a better exploration. So we can change it to bars, and we can come here and order it. So here we can explore better, for example, like the banking and the technology, and we can add more filters. Let's say, for example, we want to add like the source, the opportunity source here. So for example, we can see like the marketing deals and order also. So, or maybe like we want to change like the values. We don't want to see the number of the lost opportunities. So we can group, for example, by amount, the sum of the amounts, and just remove this one to make it clear. And use like, let's try to use another chart. So here, for example, like we can see like our data grouped by the source and the industry. So let's just keep the first one so we can see how this data can be added to a dashboard. So let's order it descending. So here, like, we can see that we can clip this one into a dashboard. So if we just click here and say, for example, lost opportunities by industry. So here, so our lens is added here. So we can just simply add it to a dashboard. All right, so this is our one, and then we can clone, like we can clone this one. So let's first save it. Industry, and we should add it to our app, and then clone it in a new tab. So we will have like we will create another chart, so we can have two charts in our dashboard. So we can add another one. So here, and let's try another one. So let's try a matrix. So using this matrix, for example, like we can see like how our data is distributed. So here, like we can see that the opportunities coming from technology, coming from the marketing campaigns, and that are technology industries that are like most likely to be lost here. So we will also clip this one. So industry and source. All right, so now if we go back to this dashboard, we can see it here. So we can just drag the component here. All right, let's do it here. Yeah, so then this dashboard can just be saved. So we just save this dashboard. So for example, this dashboard can be used like if we see that our opportunities are getting lost too much, like we have a lot of opportunities, but the most opportunities are being lost and not closed. So we can use, for example, this kind of lenses and dashboards to explore what's going on. But the real power of Tableau CRM is the stories that we will get to. So if we go back to our data set, which is this one, so here, so from this data set, like we can create a story. So a story like gives us an insight about what's going on in our data. So for example, let's say we want to analyze our data, so we want to maximize so what we want to do with our data, so we want to maximize the opportunities getting won. right? So one opportunity means like a closed one. So we will just add it to the amazing app and create a story. So here Einstein is asking if we want just to see the insights or we want more like creating a model. So here Einstein will create a model for us to like be able to do some predictions or have more insights in on our data. So we choose this one, and here like Einstein can either suggest automatically the fields that will be included in our model in the study, or we can just add the fields manually. So let's say, for example, what fields we want to include. So we include the amount and the close date. Let's include the industry. So the industry and maybe the product name. What else? All right, so we'll just keep those ones. All right, so here like we can choose which algorithm we want to use. So the GLM algorithm or the GBM, which are like regressional models, and we have the XGBoost, the famous XGBoost that that extends the decision tree algorithms, or maybe a random forest, or we can even like this one like is used. We can use the model tournament and let Einstein decide which one is the best. So if we choose this one, like Einstein will execute the 4 algorithms and like decide which one is the best by viewing its performance. All right, so we won't do this because it will take too long. And here for the validation options, so we have 2 options. It's either like divide our data to training and validation ratios. So we can choose here the ratios, or even try to use another data set for the validation. So we can have data set for the training and another one for the validation and tests. So now we create the model. It may take a while. So the most powerful tool in Einstein is this one. Like I guess I don't think like there is a better one, because like this one gives us the real insights about data. And of course there are other tools that can be helpful also. And like the good thing about also using Einstein is like the first one is that your data is already existing in your CRM, so you won't have to care about this one. And also like you can, as you can see, like the tools are easy to use and to like don't really require deep knowledge in AI and data analysis to use them. So everyone in, let's say, in your team or your company can use Einstein. So here like we can see that the model is completed. So the first thing here that we have is like we can see here the correlation with the fields, and like this is what we can discover about our data, like how can we maximize the one, like the opportunities getting one. So like for example, this is just an example, and the data is not really like a good data to use and get insights. So for example, like it's telling us that when the opportunities are won the most, so if the close date is like September 2020, and like for example, like you can see here, like it's contradictory, like because the data is not real data, it's a fake data. And we can like the good thing here also, like we can see here like things that suggest that Einstein suggests us to improve the model. So for example, you can see that this one, so high correlation close date explains 39 of the variation of one, right? So like we can, Einstein here suggests to ignore this field and retrain the model again. So this may be helpful, like to have a better model. And here Like we have two other tools. So the second one is the prediction. So we can use the model that's created by Einstein to have some predictions. So for example, we can predict like how likely is an opportunity to be closed won when the industry, for example, is biotechnology, and the amount is around like this number here. So we can see here that this opportunity will likely be lost, like since it's not it's above the threshold of the algorithm. So we can have also more insights here, like we can't explore everything now, so we can like try, for example, and maybe we can click here. So these are some suggestions to improve. So for example, if the product changes to light laptops, the the probability here will be higher, right? So it should be improved here. And lastly, so we can here explore how the model went and how the training was. So we can see here the model accuracy. So it's about like 70%. And the threshold here, we can also view here like the history and how this threshold was chosen by Einstein. And like there are many things here to explore. Like you can see here like how the threshold like how threshold evolved and in the validation and in the training set. So you can see here like where the model stopped learning really. So and like here we can see also the model evaluation, so in different charts, and even like we can have here some explanations about the charts for those who don't know what these charts are or how can we use these charts. And like here we can explore everything about the model. All right, so this is like mainly what Tableau CRM is. So it's a brief presentation, so we can't go through all the details here, but like you can just go back to the references and like see what you can like everything you can do with Tableau CRM. And that's it for Tableau CRM. So let's just go back and keep going with the presentation. All right, so in like as I said, so there is more in Salesforce Einstein. Yeah, so like many other tools. So one of the other tools so is Einstein Prediction Builder. So this prediction builder like is included in Salesforce that allows users to create fast predictions on some fields from a source of data. So for example, you want to predict another field, like a simple one, like we won't have all these options that we can see in Tableau CRM. So it's a simple tool and helpful to create like fast predictions for any field, and we will have it predicted in like we can add it to the page layout in like in each record. There are also other tools like opportunity and lead scoring, like to help your sales team focus more on the most likely, like the best opportunities or the best leads, and focus their work on those. We have also the recommended action. For example, like if a sales representative gets to an opportunity, so we will have like he can have a window that shows him what's the best thing to do next with this customer to close the deal, or like to have a better relationship. For example, send him a mail about containing the list of products or something like this. We can also have chatbots in our like contact us or communities, where like our chatbots can handle the frequently asked questions. And there are also like more and more tools for included in Salesforce Einstein, like for image recognition and like voice and like everything that we can have here. Lastly, what I want to talk about is the Einstein Platform Services API. So this is platform services. So that can be like it contains many APIs to use Einstein platform, like for to do like many things. Let's say this is like the official documentation. So you can see here, for example, so in the guides, like what we can do, like we can create the data sets with the simple post calls here, for example. So let's say we have a zip with our data. So with a simple call, we can store our data set in Einstein platform services, and then like get it or work on this data. And like then we can also train on the data and create some models, and maybe also like make predictions using these models. So this platform is provided for developers, like if they want to use some features of the Salesforce Einstein platform. And that's it. So this, for more details, you can just go to the references like Trailhead, which is the main learning platform of Salesforce. So you can go to Trailhead or simply the help of Salesforce and the MetaMind API that we were seeing here, and Einstein overview. So thank you for listening. I hope I could explain some of the features in Salesforce Einstein, and I hope also I was understandable. So it's up to you now for if you want to know more things or questions.
Thank you, Mr. Abdelghani.
Welcome.
I think you made a very great presentation. And I guess that using Salesforce Einstein has shifted the way Algiers works. So I think it's a secret behind it being the first one in the market in Algeria in this field.
Yeah.
So do you recommend using this for other like companies or businesses,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
especially
yeah,
starting ones?
sure. Like as I said, like the main two parts, like especially for those who are using Salesforce, so they won't have like to use another external system to just have some data analysis. And like as I said, like the main powers of Einstein is that your data is already there in Salesforce, and also like as you could see, like the tools are easy to use by anyone, and you can easily get go get benefit from those.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm gonna check the Discord server to see if there are some questions there.
All right.
So there's someone that asked how much Salesforce did change in the company's way of working. Salesforce Einstein, like using it.
We are talking about Salesforce itself or Salesforce Einstein.
No, Salesforce Einstein.
So I believe there is a graph somewhere here. Like let me just see. So I don't remember like a comparison and some statistics about companies using Salesforce and how their selling improved. Just a second. I don't really remember what I did see this, but yes, like they improved their selling, like most of the companies that are of course partners with Salesforce. So if I remember some statistics, like they improved about like at least 9 or 12% of their sales, of their capability to close deals also, and even in the customer service. So this is one of the statistics. So Einstein has transformed how we do business. Our sales rep have insights at their fingerprints and have seen a 20% increase in the win rate. So like you can find some statistics here, like for the HR. Yeah, so Einstein is included in everything in Salesforce, so you can use it for HR applications in all Salesforce fields.
Yeah, thank you. So we have another question here that says, what are requirements to learn more about Salesforce Einstein and from where to start it?
Yeah, so to learn about Salesforce Einstein, like first you have to learn about Salesforce, since it's an application
Yeah.
like dedicated to Salesforce, right? So and like it's built on top of Salesforce applications. So you first have to learn Salesforce, and then try to learn Salesforce Einstein. So where to start? You just start on in Trailhead. So this is the main learning, like the main learning platform of Salesforce, that we can find all the resources here. So you just create an account, and like it has quick, like a good looking and a good also responsive community. And like you can see here the organization, so there are like some modules that you can follow. There are some trail mixes. So if we type here, for example, Einstein, so we will have like results showing the trail mixes, that like the paths that one can follow to learn, right? So you can see here, for example, these are some modules that someone can follow to learn, right? So yeah, so like this is what Salesforce, the Salesforce consultants, admins, devs use to learn Salesforce features.
Yeah, thank you. So I think that we're done today. And do you have anything to wrap up with, Mr. Abdelghani?
Like I just want to say thank you first for allowing us like to have some, like to present some of our some of the Salesforce features. And like maybe like I know most of the students in Algeria don't know about Salesforce. So like one of them is me. Like when I was student, I didn't know about Salesforce, and now like I love Salesforce, and my main work is Salesforce. So yeah, there is something I forgot to mention here in the presentation. So Salesforce is not just for the admins. So there is like special part of Salesforce which is like designated for developers. So as we could see here, like you see the apps here, the applications here, like you can build custom ones by like by developing them from end to end. Like there are some programming languages in Salesforce, so for the back end and the front end, that uses like some frameworks of JavaScript and Apex for the back end. So it's a programming language that's object oriented. So just keep going and learn.
Yeah, like this talk was like an opportunity to hear about Salesforce Einstein,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're glad that we had you here today.
Thank you.
And I think that we're gonna wrap it up with this.
Yeah,
And I'd like to thank Algiers Services again for hosting us in their place.
our pleasure.
And I'd like to thank you again, Mr. Abdelghani, for your precious time and for introducing us to Salesforce Einstein.
All right, so thank
And
you very much.
thank you for all the attendees.
All right, all right. So thank you very much for everyone, and keep going.
Thank you.
Have fun.